Pre-Algebra, guys. We are starting a new chapter. So we're finally in chapter 9. Today is going to be quite a review for you guys, but I want you to kind of stick with me and take some notes, and hopefully it'll be kind of a breeze for a Monday. That'll be nice. We are going to talk about the coordinate plane. We're going to do a lot of kind of review, but talk about it in a little bit more depth, and it's going to build into tomorrow. We're going to look at domain and range and how there's every coordinate point or ordered pair is a relation of some sort between my x and my y. So let's just jump right in. Go ahead and label your notes here as coordinate plane. All right. So you probably don't have one of these to put in your notes, but you can kind of sketch a quick picture. What we want to do is make sure we know some of these important spots on my graph here. So I have this axis up and down here, and this is, see if I can draw a straight line. This is my y-axis. Let's label that. The actual line is a y-axis, and that's important because we can actually be on the y-axis. And my x-axis here. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now, there's a unique point here, and its coordinates are 0, 0, as you know. And it's called the origin. All right. Now, we represent any dot on this rectangular coordinate plane as an ordered pair, and it both needs a y and an x coordinate. The first one is always x, and the second one is always y, and it refers to that. So if I have a point on my plane right here, I came over on my x. According to my x, it's over 4, and it's up 1, 2, 3, right? Do you see how it's where both of those lines come? I could read it off of there, okay? So this point here would be point 4, 3. Okay, this should be review. We need to identify some of these quadrants. When we cut this into 4 pieces, essentially, with my x and y axis, I've made some different quadrants here. Okay, let's see if I can kind of put this back in there. Okay. Do you guys remember which quadrants they are? I like to think about it this way. It kind of goes around like a C. So we start here, and this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and we use Roman numerals to talk about these, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. You will have to identify if something is in one of those quadrants, and I do need you to use Roman numerals. If you are answering this on, I think it's all multiple choice, but for your assessment, if you write the word out or something, that's fine. It's not the most ideal way to kind of take an assessment, so do your best on it. As long as I know that you know where it is, that's what's important for right now. Okay, you also could be right on one of these axes, all right? So if you have a 0 anywhere, it means you're not kind of moving up and down at all. So if I gave you the point 0, 5, I know that my x-axis, I don't move at all, right? I have a 0. So I would come along my x-axis at a 0. Then I would come up 5. All right? So this point here is actually right here. And so it is neither in quadrant 1 or 2. It's on the y-axis. And let's notice another point. If I had a 2, 0, well, now I'm not going to move up and down at all. I'm going to come on my x-axis, come all the way over to 2, and I'm not going to go up and down at all. I want to be right here on that 0, right? To see how, in terms of this, I'm not moving up and down in terms of my y-axis. So that point would be right here. And so that is neither in quadrant 1 nor 4. It's going to be right on that x-axis. All right, last little bit of information that we need to do on our coordinate plane here is there's something that we can notice about every quadrant. There's some unique properties that we could look at a point and know exactly where it will be. Okay, I'm just going to kind of clear this up for us a little bit here. Okay, so if we are in this first quadrant, quadrant 1, my x and my y are both positive. My first number is positive, my second number is positive. Okay, right? Positive going across and up going for my y. Quadrant 2. My x's here are going to come in the negative direction. So I'm going to have a negative for a y, for an x, excuse me, and a positive. I still have a positive, right? Still up and down, still positive when I read off of my y-axis. All right, this should be a review. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Quadrant 3, take a guess. Good, negative and negative. And quadrant 4 is a positive x and a negative y. All right, well, that being said, we've graphed some. I want us to read off of a graph. I'm just going to kind of sketch another one real quickly here. Because I think that you probably will be, for the most part, kind of sketching your own. If you have some graph paper, draw your own axes. That might be the best way to do that here. I'm trying to give you homework that all you need to do is identify a letter based off something. The challenge tonight is trying to graph some of your own, so you might just want to kind of sketch one out. Okay, if I had a point that was, let's say right here, what are the coordinates for this? Well, I need to have my x first and my y. So I'm not moving at all in terms of my direction of x. Okay, I'm coming right here back to my 0 on my horizontal number line. So a 0, and then I need to have going in my horizontal direction a 3. So that point would be 0, 3. Now, what if I kind of flipped it and I said, hey, could you graph the point 0, 0? Well, that's a unique one, actually. It's right on both axes, on the x and the y. What if I gave you the point negative 4, 7? Could you graph that one? I didn't think ahead all the way for this. Let's see, 3, 4, 7. Okay. So you need to come back negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come up 7. It'll be way up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, how do you feel about those? I think you guys should be pretty good with this. I'm not even going to kind of go over a skills check. I want you to jump into your homework. Try the challenge if you're ready for that. Check it with the answers that are given in RenWeb. See you tomorrow.